Argentinian Wonderkids always come with a lot of hype, particularly when we're talking about attackers. We've had Maradona, we've had Messi, amongst many other fantastic names. Well, today we have someone who can't reach their levels, but can certainly be a top tier player and one of the best players of his generation in your save. He only costs a couple of million too. I'm surprised we haven't made a video on him already, but let's get right into it. I'm Jake for FMSCOUT, and today we're back with another episode of Wonderkid to Superstar, where we focus on a Wonderkid in Football Manager and put them to the higher end of their potential range to see what kind of player you might be able to sign in your save. Now, the player we're talking about, as I mentioned, is Argentinian. He's a player that won't cost you too much, but has some very good potential. As we go find our young star, don't forget to like the video if you do enjoy and subscribe for more of this kind of content so you don't miss out on any of the best Wonderkids, particularly with FM23 coming up. But you will see we are here in the Argentinian divisions, and somewhere or other we will find this club here, Colón. Now, this is a team in the top division in Argentina, and they have a very good young prospect by the name of Facundo Farias. Now, you shouldn't have to have the Argentinian divisions loaded to see him. I don't here. I just have the Spanish league loaded, and he still appeared for me. And what a star this guy is. He's not going to cost you too much, somewhere around £3.5, £2 million, depending on the kind of player you get in your save. He's got a potential range of 140 to 170, so he's either going to be a great investment or one of the best players in the world in his position. He can play in a variety of roles, but I think behind the striker is probably his best area, and whilst his physicals aren't amazing, they're still pretty good. The same with his mentals, but it's his technicals where he really stands out with incredible technique, long shots, good passing and vision as well. Add in some nice first touch, dribbling, finishing, his crossing and corners and free kicks aren't terrible either. He is a perfect South American technical attacker, and if we can just develop him in his other areas too, he could be phenomenal. So we're going to show you how we're going to do that with Facundo today to turn him into one of the best in the world in his position. But first, we're going to move him over to our club, Real Madrid. For today's test, we'll be using the 4-2-3-1 Gegenpress preset. A couple of the roles have been changed, and in particular, I have changed the one of Facundo Farias here to the shadow striker role. I'm not sure if it's going to be a particularly effective role in this tactic or overall in Football Manager, but I just kind of think it suits the guy. I don't know if it'll work perfectly, but I feel like with his attacking potential, with those good long shots and decent finishing too, he could do pretty well there, but we will see. One thing I'll instantly note though, is as soon as he's joined the club, his valuation has skyrocketed, which is great. It probably means that he is significantly undervalued at his club in Argentina. I'm going to be training him in that shadow striker role to get these attributes up to as good as possible. Double intensity, no additional focus, as I do with near enough every test that we do nowadays, and I have got him mentored by some of the better players at the club in terms of leadership ability, so that we can get that determination a little bit higher and his personality hopefully to something a little better than balance. Not that that's terrible, but I'd like to see that go a little bit higher. As I mentioned, Facundo can be anywhere between 140 and 170 current ability in your save at his maximum potential, so I'll show you him after a few years to see what you might get if you've got a Facundo Farias who did not reach his full 170 potential, and then we'll check in on him at the end of his career to see just how good he can be in your saves. But first, for the more realistic version of Farias. So we're here in 2024. He isn't classed as one of the best players at the club just yet. His current ability rating is sitting just above 140, so worst case scenario, at full potential, your £3 million player is going to look like this, which I think is pretty phenomenal because those physicals are exceptional in all areas really, other than natural fitness. You can forgive jumping reach, but everything else looks great. Balance, agility, acceleration. There's also some pretty good strength in there for a 5'8" attacking midfielder. His mentals are starting to round out a lot better too. His determination has gone up, his personality has adjusted, and he's much better in his decision making. But it's his technique where he really shines, and the thing that I think makes him so signable, and the reason why a lot of you will want to bring him to your side: 17 technique, passing of a great level. His off the ball work is exceptional. His long shots are amazing at 17. You can guarantee you're going to see a few screamers from this guy. His first touch, dribbling and crossing are exceptional too. Add in some very good finishing, and you can see if we highlight that shadow striker role that we've been training him in, he is becoming very very dangerous in that area. Now, he could definitely do a job as a playmaker, as an attacking midfielder, but for me, Shadow Striker just seemed a little bit cooler with the shooting attributes that he does have, and so far, he's done okay. He's not set the world alight. I wouldn't expect him to, but I would expect him to do slightly better than this, so I do think it might be down to the role we're using him in and the tactic. It's not perfectly molded to the player. The tactic isn't an OP one, it's just a preset from the game, and I've just clicked Shadow Striker instead to see how it might get on. So you guys, hands-on managing this player, can do far better than me. He's not really hit anywhere near a 7 average match rating yet, getting around 14, 15 goal contributions a season in his last 2 seasons. But he could do a little bit better, and he will. So now I'm going to show you him in the prime of his career to see what kind of player you might get if you get very lucky with your potential ranges in your save. And here we are in 2033. Farias has become one of the best players at the club. Before we look at him in too much detail though, if you would like to check out my channel, you can find it linked in the description down below. Any support over there is greatly appreciated. I'm also going to be running an FM23 giveaway, so if you want to be involved in that, go check out the Twitter as well in the description. Keep an eye out there because I will be dropping the giveaway fairly soon. But back to the video and to Facundo Farias, the number 9 now for Real Madrid on £215,000 a week, capped for the Argentinian national team on multiple occasions with 10 goals from 36 appearances, which is not bad from attacking midfield. Physically, he's just got better and better. That natural fitness has ironed out. He's given himself a load of traits too, which if we didn't have, you could see his ability rating being even higher because traits do take up some of that ability rating that a player can have. Strength, speed, agility, and balance. He's got everything that he needs to be great in that attacking midfield role. His mentals have really ironed themselves out now. It's the thing that has improved the most over the last few seasons since you last saw him. He is now 170 current ability rating. His anticipation, composure, decision making, and off the ball work is fantastic, as is many other attributes, but you'll also see his vision is great now with some very, very good passing, but his technique is off the charts. 18 is very, very impressive for an attacking midfield player. Long shots of 17. In terms of his dribbling, finishing, and first touch, if he was a striker, you'd be more than happy with this. He looks so good in those areas. He can take set pieces too. He can head the ball well. This guy is the complete package. Let's highlight that shadow striker role just to see how good he is. And he really is fantastic. If you wanted him to, he could be an advanced forward as well at this stage, because look at how well he has grown. As I've said, he could definitely play other roles. And if you want him to be a creator, he's only 18 and you've got plenty of time to train him into a very good creative player. But this guy can play up front, he can play on the wings, he can play in the centre of midfield as a creator, or you can have him in behind the striker, causing havoc and taking those long shots. And I'm going to guess he's taken a fair few because he is scoring a decent amount of goals now, whilst also assisting a lot for the team too. Since we last saw him, he has always hit a 7 average match rating. Nothing too crazy, I might say, but again, I think the role is having a big impact on that. Maybe Shadow Striker isn't the best, particularly in this tactic, but he is hitting around 15-20 goal contributions a season now, and in his most recent years, getting closer to 25 on a couple of occasions. Goals and assists of equal levels, and he's a big contributor in this Real Madrid side. I do have a save at the end of his career, so let me hop over to that to see how he did for the rest of those years. And as seems to happen in all of these saves that I do, even though his physical attributes have gone down a hell of a lot and he's got worse as he's got older, in terms of his on-the-pitch performance, he's never been better, hitting 35 goal contributions in this season in the league alone, 15 goals, 20 assists, then 13 goals, 20 assists, 17 goals, 12 assists, hitting very, very high average match ratings now, and even at the age of 35, I think he is, pretty much ready to retire, he's still banging in goals and assists. He's definitely aged like a fine wine. If you're playing in Europe, he will take up a foreign spot or be hard to get a work permit for, but either way, he is still worth taking a look at. His value is now down to where it originally was when we first signed him, but what a player this guy is. I'm giving him a 9.5 out of 10. If we played him in a different role, he could have hit that 10 rating because he is cheap. He's in a lot of people's saves, his attributes are good in all areas, and you can kind of mould him into whatever role you want. I just wish we'd been able to see him flourish in a different role, but what a player this guy is. I'm sure a lot of you have had success with him. He's not particularly a player that's really under the radar. He's just not one that's signed as often as some others. So this has been Facundo Farias. That's been our latest Wonderkid to Superstar episode. If you want to see more, don't forget to like the video and subscribe for more, and feel free to check out my channel, linked in the description down below. Thank you to everyone for watching, and I'll see you next time. Goodbye.